here in the coffee break session of my startup yatra in association with the Early Birds Club. So basically, I will make you go through with the sessions, criteria, and why we call it Coffee Break Saturday and how we founded it. So, Coffee Break Saturday is a like-minded event where we invite people, like-minded people, and entrepreneurs, startups, and those people who have covered a journey of their life to make us believe that okay, those journeys can be made by many people who are being dreamed of it, and some obstacles are there who usually we found it so much hard that we don't know the solutions of them, and people like you always go through that obstacles to make it a beautiful opportunities and beautiful tomorrow. And those obstacles has been discussed with you, like how we can go through with those hurdles, how we will maintain those lifestyle of yours. So by question answer round, but it kind of interaction. It's a kind of coffee break, talk. It's kind of talk, and we will go through each and every part with our audience, and I will ask questions from them and enlighten your audience questions and being enlightened with your knowledge. So can we start with the session?
Absolutely. Let's start off.
Okay, so our guest, Mr. Siddhant Bajpai, founder of Andromedia and CIO of Business Charsha, in solving criteria problem around him, and founded Andromedia to build underwater robots supported by MSME, support many ecosystems. So, Siddhant, mm, uh, well, each and everything, the main question and the main is, just tell me something about your journey and how you are where you.
So before I start off with the session, I'd like to greet everyone and thank you to Priyadarshi and the team for inviting me this Saturday. I hope that everybody who's listening to me and who's not listening to me is keep and please take good care of yourself. And on that note, I'd like to answer with your question. Uh, so what made me do what I am right now today is having my roots from my college, from where I graduated from, uh, and started my journey in 2014 at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, Mysore Road. And that is where I started my club called as Team Hydra, which was nothing but another technical college club, which are there in most of the colleges that we see. And that technical club grew bigger and bigger in order to become present days Andromeda. Because after we all graduated as founding members of the technical club, we joined in as directors of this company. And that is where we have bought it today with our hard work and everyone's support. So the main motivation behind startup becoming a startup was definitely the support which I received from my parents, because that's a very very vital part of anything which I've done in my life till now. And second was the belief from the team members whosoever worked with me, along with the confidence that they had, because that was another very vital part of what made us right now. So this is in a brief that I'd like to tell that yeah, this is what motivated me. uh, One thing that I was really passionate to work for was sustainability. Now, when we talk about sustainability, it's been a really widespread term by United Nations, and everywhere you listen that term. So sustainability carries a lot of, there is something called as UN SDG, which is called as United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. There are around 16 of them, if I'm not wrong, and there are a lot of things which they cover for the welfare of the humanity under each goal. So what we chose and what motivated us was the water space in that. And since we were belonging to engineering background, how we could disrupt the water space with the technology that we have learned is what was the motivation behind making underwater robots in Andromeda present day. So that was the whole thing, how it started.
Oh, that's a beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And while everyone says that to be in the in the updated life, you have to be updated with every technologies and every situation around you. So this is Saikat Das, all the way from UK, and with Siddhant Bajpai, who is the founder of the Andromedia, right? So in fact, we will come to know about Andromedia so much because I had gone through many articles and many news about that, and of course the CIO business culture. Of course, it will be a great session. In fact, I'm very much enthusiastic about that. And for our viewers here who have joined right now, uh, you can unmute yourself. You can just put up direct questions to Siddhant if you want. If you want, you can write your questions in the chat box. I will utter this question to directly to Siddhant. And we are live right now, so we have three platforms: Facebook, sorry, four platforms: Facebook, for our Facebook viewers. We have LinkedIn for our LinkedIn viewers. We have YouTube for our YouTube channel, and we have Twitter for our Twitter partners. So every platform are being streaming right now, and right now we will go through each and every part of questions that are being faced right with the many obstacles by entrepreneurs, by startups, to ask them to directly to Siddhant for getting some solutions. So and for Siddhant also, we are being supported today by ICFI Agartala. So a round of applause for them. And yes, the first question that I will just go with it, that what is AI according to you, and how it's making a big difference in startup and entrepreneurs?
Most of the times when I'm in this session, these kind of sessions, and people ask me AI and they ask me about robotics. One example which I want them to go back and recall, if at all we all have seen that legendary movie called Three Idiots.
Correct.
And in that movie, when Amir Khan is sitting in the classroom and the professor asks him a question, what is a machine? The answer which Chatur Ramalingam gives is very different from the answer which Ranchor Das
Chanchar,
Chanchar
yeah.
gives in the starting.
Correct.
And that is what he says, that it is anything which makes human effort easy. It is anything which makes human effort easy. And that is the same definition which I would like to allot to AI right now in a very generic term, because I understand that the audience which is joining us right now belongs to multidisciplinary background.
Correct.
So artificial intelligence is nothing but another leap in the way we think and in the way we make decisions, or in the way we try to perceive the environment, which gives us different use cases, or maybe which gives us different problem statements, and how we are able to tackle that particular use case. So if at all we keep a support system along with our own personalized thinking, I imagine that that is what can be termed as AI. Now, when I talk about AI, I can go on for hours, but one distinction which I want to lay right now on this call is AI is not robotic. When you talk about AI, when you talk about robotics, these both are a little different from each other, or maybe in technical terms, completely different from each other. So when I call robotics, I am talking about foundation of a building. And when I talk about I am actually talking about different floors in the building. So if at all you have to say in one sentence, what is the difference between AI and robotics? Robotics is the foundation or infrastructure on the top of which AI functions, or AI looks beautiful to function. So that is what I distinguish AI and robotics as. I hope the answer was, sounding good to everyone,
In fact, the
and it
answer
made
was
some sense.
yes. In fact, the answer was so much easy to explain and express. So we got each and every insight that you want to tell. So why I have asked this question right now, because we want to know about your startup, and we want to know exactly what Andromedia does. So for understanding Andromedia, we should know about the AI difference between AI and robotics. So that is the reason. So can you please enlighten us and makes through the journey how you founded your startup, and how Andromedia had made his position in the market right now.
Yeah. So to put in one line in Andromeda, we create robots that function underwater for stakeholders who concern water ecosystem and also their end consumers. So this is in one line what we do at Andromeda. When I talk about we creating underwater robots, these are nothing but untethered AUVs, which are autonomous underwater vehicles, which can be generically termed as mini submarines. So very small in size, less than half a meter or maybe equivalent to half a meter in length, and similar dimensions. So in a very small cuboid, you could have a very small submarine working for you, and that is what even we create. Now, the way we are creating underwater robots is very different. When somebody hears about submarine, they directly go towards navy, they
Navy.
directly go towards defense, and they assume that it would be something which might be helping navy to do some different kind of functions. But in our case, that was the motivation to start, but also we had the motivation to serve to civil side of things. So the knowledge that we had gained, because I belong to Indian Institute of Science, from where I graduated from Center of Excellence, and where we learned how to actually create AUVs or how to create autonomous underwater vehicles. Now, at that particular place, the tasks that we had to deal with were identification of impurities inside a particular water body. So we had to make a submarine, and the task was, you go and we will deploy your submarine in any water body that we like, and your submarine should be able to detect what and all are the different kinds of impurities in this particular water body, and it has to transmit that data. So the project sounds really simple, but it was not that simple, and that is what we were able to accomplish over a period of 3.5 years. Now this particular datafication, though, is very important for analytics, but we wanted to actually go one or two steps ahead. So because for us, it really did not solve a problem of the consumer that we were trying to analyze data for, until and unless we get we get it disinfected. So we are deploying our submarine in a water body and giving you an impurity parameter that your water body is having this impurity, but we are not cleaning it for you. You again are dependent on somebody else
Yes.
or maybe your own self to get it clean. So what's the use of this particular product? And that is what motivated us to create robots which could actually identify impurity data and also clean water bodies. So that is right now what we are creating in Andromeda.
Oh, that's a great leap, towards making our resources clean, and of course, as we are forwarding towards net zero, I think you know about it. So as we are forwarding towards net zero, lower carbon emissions, and cleaner water bodies, cleaner treatment plants. So I think this is a revolution in terms of startup also, and in terms of robotics and AI, because we does need this kind of technologies to make our lives more smoother, and to be a more conscious citizen of any country. Thank you so much, thank you so much for making this happen. And so going forward with the next question. So what is the benefit of robotic process automation?
So when I talk about robotic and when I talk about automation, now these are again different terms,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to keep it again a little generic,
Mm-hmm.
because you have asked about robotic process automation. So how I perceive the question is that how robots help us automate a particular process to solve a particular problem. So imagine I have a particular water body and I want to clean this water body after being able to detect what is the different types of impurities. So why am I not doing it manually, and why do I need a robot to do it for me? Now, one thing that I want to make it very clear when I am again and again using the term robotic or robot is it's not something which always has hands and legs, something which has a different operating system, or maybe a ROS, what we call in technical language as robot operating system, and which is pre-programmed in order to perceive use cases differently. So all those technical terms I'm going to keep aside. One thing that is how I am able to effectively solve a problem without intervening in that problem. So someone who I have deployed to solve the particular use case understands the data better than me, because that guy has got some sensors, that guy has got something else, that guy has got few disinfectants, and that understands something better than me. You know why I have spent so many years in researching is because if at all I would have to go directly and do analysis and all, it would have taken me a lot of effort, a lot of human effort. And in order to save that, I'm trying to deploy robots and automate the process. So one thing which is very important is robotics, unless and until is giving you a transparency of data, till that you do not say that the process is completely automated.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
one way you are deploying a product in order to help you, and second way the communication is happening reverse as well, where it is giving you a transparent data that how did it perform for the function you deployed it for. So automation makes sense when the machine confesses in front of you that it is able to do something
Correct.
efficiently for what you have deployed it for. So that's what I called as process automation
Automation. Mm.
in two sense.
Correct, correct. That's great. In fact, we got someone, Mr. Manas Upadhyay, who want to ask something about his question and his doubts. So, Manas, can you unmute yourself and ask directly?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Siddhant. This is Manas, and I'm the founder of D-Town Robotics Private Limited.
Hi
So, we are,
Manas, how are you?
yeah, I'm fine. So basically, we are into unmanned ground vehicle as well as unmanned aerial vehicle productions, and we are based in Uttarakhand only. So it's been
Amazing.
3 years. We have been working more into the indigenous part and making products made in India, basically. So I was actually referring to you referred to one of the organizations from United Nations. So how they actually help, because like we are also the winner of this year's FLCDD channel, which was actually a low carbon tech challenge, which was organized by UNIDO. So how much they support actually for the same, because like right now we are actually evaluated at almost 60 CRs as a part of valuations, but now we will actually know the capacity, or you can say what is the actual presence of UNIDO over the world into the deployment of these systems. Yeah, that is the
So if I got your question correctly,
yeah,
Manas,
yeah,
you would like to understand how United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are actually helping you do things, whatever you want to do, even more efficiently.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
One thing that I want to tell is that congratulations for your achievements.
Thank
It's
you.
great to hear about your achievements, firstly.
Yeah,
One thing that we have to understand is I think we all know this particular standard called as ISO.
yeah,
ISO is International Organization for Standardization,
yes,
and it has laid some particular parameters. If at all you align your company's products or processes to that parameters,
hmm,
then you can apply for a certification, and these
okay,
guys come to your location, see
uh-huh.
that what you have uploaded are actually meeting the requirements of what they have set as parameters, and then they offer you a certificate. That kind of a procedure actually happens with becoming partners to or sustainable partners to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as well. One thing that I could recommend you is there are so you can see from goal number 1 to 16 which particular goal is implying to the use case that you are trying to imply with,
Okay,
that you are trying to connect with.
connect with, yes,
So I say that goal number 6, 12, and 14 are for, and that
okay,
is what we are trying to align ourselves with.
yeah,
So all the time, even Andromeda is approved as a United Sustainable Development Partner. We say we are aligning ourselves with UNSDG, but we are not approved sustainable development partners of UNSDG. The way we can learn it and we can go ahead is we we try to connect with one of the NGOs or a section company which are actually partners in your domain to SDG.
Okay.
Now, in this particular case, what we can do is we can try and have a small tender of a very small chunk of project along with them, and
Mhm.
also learn that for our domain, how can we become the upcoming UN, SDG Sustainable Development Partners.
Okay. Okay.
That
Got
is
it.
the way even we are taking the step ahead and
Okay.
connecting ourselves with those NGOs which are very, very environment cautious,
Okay.
and they keep on doing something and keep on upgrading their reports to the United Sustainable Development Goals.
Okay.
So we keep on training them. We keep on help them in training. Some sort of a data identification, some student projects, and this is how we are making our profile. So making your profile to become a sustainable development partner is a very important. So I
Okay.
think attach yourself with an organization which is in your domain
Yeah.
and try and do a joint collaboration for small activities so that
Okay.
you get the exact hold of what is the procedure of you becoming that particular partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. Thank you, Siddhant, for the
It's
input.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manas, for your question, and it's a really pleasure to have you in our show.
Uh, I think you're on mute. You're
Oh,
on
oh,
mute. Yeah.
oh, oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, beautiful.
perfectly.
So thank you, Manas, for your question, and it's a great pleasure to have you on our show. And congratulations for your achievement once again. So right now, I'm very happy with the conversation that we had, and as we are going towards climate change, as we are going towards net zero, and how we have our own uh, targets to fulfill. So yeah, that's my question, and I think the way we are going towards the climate change and the way we are going towards policies and everything. So I think this question relies a lot that how and when are you planning to come with carbon footprints, AI, or any kind of robotic processes, so that we can tell, okay, that much of impurities or that much of carbon footprints are there, like we can trace exactly how much emissions are going on. I think this transmission and distribution of technology is more important and more vigorous right now.
So, I completely get the question. Now there are two ways in which we can solve this, or we can try to be a part of contributing to this cause, which has been this world level discussion right now.
Correct.
One is a direct way and one is an indirect way. Now, when I talk about solving it directly, there are some joint collaborations with Israel
Mm-hmm.
in which we are trying to create swarm of robots inside water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be one of the very nascent projects which we are going to take up. And that is going to actually solve the carbon foot or contribute towards the carbon footprint
Correct.
thing. But that's after around an year or so, because uh, we want to prove that our use case is really very efficient in water bodies which are lesser in volume than sea. Because the people have to try and understand that they have to start from small use cases. So you try to solve a problem for lake, pond, river, and take small steps. So that's why we have aligned to solve this particular problem maybe after an year from now, so that we are able to actually contribute properly and efficiently. Now, one thing that we are trying to do right now is contributing in indirect manner, because the way we are deploying our vehicles and the way we are trying to receive the data from the vehicles, it is saving a lot in terms of energy, and it is saving a lot in terms of water. Obviously money is the third thing, but that's not an environmental concern. It may be because it's made out of plastic, so
Mm-hmm.
we are saving notes. So there are these three very important things which we are doing where so I'll tell you about Pool Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our projects, and
I think
That is
Pool Buddy, you just uploaded it in LinkedIn, and we have gone through the Pool Buddy. I know it's a fabulous
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So Puri is Asia's first untethered underwater robot, and world's first robot right now, which is able to dispense chemicals in water all autonomously. So when we understand about talking uh, tethered and untethered robots, I think both of them are very different. Uh, Remotely operated vehicles are very different from robots, so I am not going to go into the
Yes.
technical
Correct.
part of
Correct.
it. But just categorizing ourselves in what we are right now. Now, this pool buddy is going to go and clean your swimming pool. A very important, a very generic use case. Now, why do you need a robot to clean your swimming pool when you have a lot of manpower and you have a lot of infrastructure in terms of pumps and everything which are set up besides your pool? So, why do you need it? So one thing is that I would like to ask this question live, that with the outbreak of COVID, how confident you are that you step inside water and you are not going to catch COVID? So you're swimming with a lot of people, okay, and we are even not sharing the common medium which is air, with and we are keeping distance in that particular medium. Now, water, which is constrained space, which have two people or more than two people, and we even do not know that the other person is infected or not infected, because this is the kind of uh, census that we have recorded from the hospitality customers who were not going back to the pools. So there were swimmers who wanted to go and use the pools, but they did not go with the fear that I might get COVID. What if I step in water? So one thing which is very important is trying to gain their confidence back and telling them that, see, this water is safe for you to swim. That's one very important use case, which if they see me manually cleaning the pool, might not hit their psyche. But if they see a robot cleaning the pool and producing live data, is hitting their psyche. Now that data is not only for you, but for saving the energy of the infrastructure where that swimming pool is situated. So coming to the point, if at all you deploy my robot, you're going to save 93% of energy every month than what you used to actually waste by using your pumps outside pool.
That's
So
great.
I am indirectly contributing to the cause by saving or making your whole swimming pool disinfection and cleaning process automated. So this is what I'm trying to say and coming to the point. So this is right now an indirect uh, contribution that we are making through our robots.
I think factor more than 90% getting perfect data is a huge round of applause for that. And congratulations on the project. I've seen the project, and that's a very beautiful, and in terms of explanation, it's self-explanatory. So yeah, all the best for the project. So as I am going towards a basic policies, basic standards, because of course as we are here with the startups and business and innovation. So I think what are those parameters, and what are those obstacles that you face during making your idea into an organization? So what are those as you said, ISO certifications, and as you said, fiscal some fiscal policies are there of government. So what is those obstacle and standard that has to be maintained, and how to be maintained?
See, truly speaking, as far as standards and things are concerned, I did not face a lot of problem because my father happens to be an ISO auditor. So I have grown up in an environment,
Uh-huh.
seeing quality processes and listening to him guiding people around in and around ISO, this, that. So that and all has got embedded.
Hmm.
So everything which I do it in
In line with
uh,
that.
yeah, in alignment to whatever processes are there. So but yes, you know there is this thing, we are making a combination of hardware and software, where the machine or the hardware is the robot and the software is implemented on principles of artificial intelligence. So, in a generic term, we say that we are giving a combo of robot and AI, where the robot is going to clean your pool and AI application is going to show you live health status data of the
Mm-hmm.
pool.
Mm-hmm.
So, very simple. Now, in this, the production cycle is a little bit of a challenge, where you create a code, but you are not able to tell that what is the standard of coding that you have followed in order to build this particular application. So there are still a lot of people, because we are all used to using open source,
Open source.
and actually, uh, in order to innovate, that's one of the best ways to go around creating a prototype. So prototyping is all thanks to open source, because we are able to follow the agile methodology in prototyping, and that's a very important thing, because the faster we fail, the better the product would be, which is going to be upcoming. But we have to always see that the kind of standards which we are following while even bolting a nut or a screw in our robot, or maybe even writing a one line code in our application, is this already compliant with an already existing standard or not? So very easy Google search. It is though a little, I hope my father is not listening. It is though a little boring, but very important in the long run. So that is what is very. It did not bother me much, but one thing that is certainly there. There will be few standards which nobody might be knowing, and those standards have to go under lab validation in order for your process to become a standard.
Correct.
So I am filling the bottle with the help of a tap,
Mm-hmm.
or I am filling the bottle by connecting a pipe to the tap to the hole of the bottle's mouth. So my thing has not been written anywhere in the process,
Mm-hmm.
but if I get this lab validated, this becomes a standard already. So people have accepted. So the moment people start or your lab validation is positive,
Mm-hmm.
I think those things can be accepted or adopted as a standard for you. So this is one which I would like to tell.
So that's a good you told us about the small that to be covered beforehanded. So one question arises that are those elements like from the starting are to be kept in line with your project. Like we know about for business we need funding, for business we need support, we need an organization structure, we need a customer validation, we need the minimum viable product. So what's that to be kept for the process or for the AI and robotics? What are those elements that to be kept initial stage to the final stage as a in line, and we don't need to hamper or get beyond the track of that.
Projects like me, which are hardware oriented, I would have gone and told about the business things also. But since the question is specific, to keep
Mm.
the answer specific,
Mm-hmm.
there is this ISO, which is called as IATA, and that gives standards for automotive manufacturing of projects. If somebody would like to start off with hardware manufacturing or ideation of a project which might turn into a core hardware manufacturing, please follow the standard called as APQP.
APQP.
APQP. That means Advanced Product Quality Planning. Advanced Product Quality Planning is a 5 stage process where right from the ideation till you do customer testing and record customers' feedback, everything is laid in form of a proper process. And if at all you follow those 5 processes, your product is definitely going to land at a really very good spot. So anyone who's looking in order to do a hardware project, See, I'm not talking about jugaad projects,
Mm-hmm.
which we all do in colleges, but really serious projects, somebody who would like to take, please follow the APQP standard of IATF, Advanced Product Quality Plan. You will get each and everything. And if at all somebody is having a problem, I would like to connect at any time on my email or through your organization, and would like to help more on how we can,
That's
uh,
very generous of you, Siddhant. That's very generous of you. Of course, we will have your contact to in our ecosystem, and whomsoever wants to come, those are always welcome. And we do have our slogan that lifting each other. So of course, we will always grow lifting each other. So, Siddhant, with your answer, I think we would appreciate if you go towards the business prospect also, the business side of your answer. As you said that you will be, streaming towards a specific answer as the question was specific. But I would love you to generate some overview about the business aspect and the prospect of how it will go to the future and how it has gone in the past.
uh, uh, this term entrepreneurship, it has started getting termed around a decade back,
Decade back.
where we have all been very excited about calling ourselves as entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But I go back to my school days, where we used to fill a application form,
Mm-hmm.
where the profession of the parent needed to be filled, and there were only two columns:
Businessman.
serviceman or businessman.
Yes, correct.
And at that time, I always used to click on serviceman. I never used to know that, something like entrepreneur is going to be coming up also. So what is the difference in between an entrepreneur and a businessman? If at all anybody would like to take up that answer, before I give my definition of an entrepreneur, I would love to have it on the message box or through anybody who'd like to unmute their mics. And then I'm going to tell you my definition of entrepreneur and what makes an entrepreneur distinct from a businessman, and how can we convert to businessman. So, anybody would like to go in 3 seconds?
Please, anybody. It's a huge, opportunity. So, can I give one answer in terms of your question?
Sure,
Yeah.
please.
So I think businessman is totally towards any business that comes out to be a profit in a profitable way, and it can be any product or anything, or and the product is quite existing. It's not a new product, but for entrepreneurs, you have to think about the societal change, how you can make the change in the society, and of course, to bring some change, you have to need any and a financial support. You have to plan for the future, and you have to plan for how many jobs can you intake, what are the business aspect, what is the validation, and how will go towards the business element or prospect of that part.
I must say that's an amazing answer. And thank you so much for complimenting what I'm about to say, because I have made a definition on the similar lines. So, someone who is having aggression with compassion at the same time is called as an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
And this is what I quote. And people ask me that why do you put these two terms together? How can aggression be also there in a person, and how can compassion be also there in a person? So aggression is always towards attaining more than what people like you are having inside your circle. So when you are in ninth standard, you pick up a 10th standard book and try to solve a problem and are feeling bad about not being able to solve that problem. And you work harder than ever in
Mhm.
order to reach that particular level,
Goal.
even when your friends are in ninth standard. That's the aggression that I'm talking about with a very small example. And compassion is, I will not be able to make a good product or a viable product if at all I am not able to make myself stand in the shoes of the customers
Customers.
and feel their problem. That is the kind of compassion or the connect which I'm talking about when I say aggression with compassion makes up an entrepreneur. The difference in between an entrepreneur and a businessman is wealth of mind. I'm not talking about the financial wealth or the bank balance that
The
we have.
mindset, the proper mindset.
It's the mindset. So anybody who has started with the footprints to become an entrepreneur can definitely go and convert themselves into a businessman with just achieving this term called as wealth of mind. And wealth of mind is nothing but keeping yourselves very conscious of your environment.
Correct.
When you talk about environment, it's the physical environment and any other stimuli which ever directly indirectly affect your business costs. So I think that's what turns you into a businessman. That's the definition that I'd like to give. One thing in 4 words, that business side of things complementing the product or any kind of a development which is happening in your enterprise, you have to have an entrepreneurial checklist. In that entrepreneurial checklist, there are 4 things which are very important. One is your team,
Mm-hmm.
one is your rejection instinct, third is a mentor, and fourth is resilience.
Correct.
So this is what an entrepreneurial checklist is. The moment you tick mark all of them, then you entitle
To be an
proudly
entrepreneur.
yourself as an entrepreneur. So that is what I look up at, because uh, okay, I'm just extending too long,
No, no, that's
but
fine because of course we want to know
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. When you want to call yourself as doctor, you have to perform a 5 year, 6 year, 9 year, 8 year study in either your your PhD or your MBBS and MD and all those things which entitle you with the doctor
Doctorate. Yeah.
things. Uh, in the same way, you have to complete an engineering degree. In old days, people used to put ER in front of their names.
Correct.
Right now, they are not putting, so engineer something. In the same way, uh, entrepreneurs are sold very very cheaply, and that is what gives me a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So till the time you are able to achieve the aggression, the compassion, and the entrepreneurial checklist, never let people around you over applaud you that, oh, you are a great entrepreneur, because you know deeper inside that till I do this, I will not be proud enough to call myself as an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
So kindly keep a check on your entrepreneurial checklist, please.
Uh,
So
the
that's the
the
request.
thing that you said is a great line when I say everyone that the entrepreneur word is dying right now because everyone is speaking themselves or saying themselves as an entrepreneur, but they don't have the idea what is entrepreneurship and how it exactly begins with your life. And uh, many people don't have that idea of difference between entrepreneurs and business. So they're also saying themselves as an entrepreneur, but it's not about saying is a wrong word, but it's all about the principles. Because being an entrepreneur is not just a word, it's not just a title. It's about your whole attitude towards the society, towards your project, towards the business. So I don't want that attitude to be die or to be lash in the time. So I think making a proper definition and making a proper process for entrepreneurs is the main part to begin with the journey. So yes, this is a quite sensitive topic right now that you just pinched, and hope that everyone gets to know about. And in fact, my startup yatra and Alibars Club are in the way of defining entrepreneurship and startup, and to help those people who have the knowledge but don't have the platform and don't have the resources to be in the shoe of an entrepreneur. So yes, and thanks to you also, because people like you always motivate us, always give us knowledge how to be and that in that journey. And reaching to the destination is always a affinable thing, but the journey is mattering a lot. Like journey matters a lot. Thank you so much for the insight, Siddhant. Thank you so much for the session. So we are coming to the end. So I'm speaking to all the viewers, the online viewers, and the viewers who are here with us. If anyone have any question, if anyone have any doubts, he or she might unmute himself, herself, and ask directly Siddhant any question. And I will be moving forward with the online question if I'm getting. So please move ahead. So Siddhant, moving ahead with the one question that we received online from Rituraj. So he's telling that for starting a AI business or AI project, what are the initial obstacles, or it should be hurdle, initial obstacle or hurdle that are being faced by entrepreneurs?
Right now there are no initial hurdles or obstacles because everyone who takes up a .ai domain name is bound to call themselves as AI startup. So I'm sorry to whomsoever it pinches, but that's the reality. So one thing you never have to go and take, Rituraj, is follow the easy path. Never do that. If at all any of your complimenting mentors or your teachers or anybody around you tells that make yourself feel like an AI startup first by taking a .ai domain name, kindly don't do that at all. So that, that's the very first thing. Now when you talk about AI, there is no challenge at all when you are having the vigor to learn more. See, when I started with learning IIoT, IoT, and all those terminologies, I did not know that our country is 12 years behind having the IIoT. Industrial Revolution 4.0 came 12 years late in India. There are only two labs in India right now who actually knows to implement IIoT 4.0. People are talking outside India about 5.0 also.
5.0.
So one thing that we need to understand that the distance that we are that we have to cover in a very short amount of time is huge. So kindly do not refrain yourselves to learn and learn and learn more and more. So you are bound to face obstacles because you have chosen this path for you. That's the most exciting part. You have actually chosen obstacles, and that's the part of your journey. Obstacles are going to come. But one thing is, getting the purity of knowledge is very important. So, if at all you want to fight obstacles, get and try to research for a good mentor, somebody who is having a proper experience in that field is the person who's gonna actually make the path smooth for you. That's a very important thing, and this is how you deal with your obstacles. So I could go on and on with the total obstacles that you face and in what and all process, because see, when you talk about AI startup, let me give you one thing with an exciting closure. The total amount of hard work that you have to do in order to make a product is do ideation, do conceptualization, prepare a proof of concept, prepare a prototype, prepare a minimum viable product, and prepare a market ready product. Then do alpha testing, then do beta testing, then do gamma testing, and then do delta testing. Lot of things. This is more than the 46 assignments that we do every year in engineering. So, so obstacles are going to be there. So don't worry about that. It's going to be sorted.
So we have another question, and then the forum from Kamal: how to find mentor in a particular field?
Google search engine. That- that's the see. That would have been an answer if we wouldn't have access to this beautiful platform called LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
And I think
Hi,
please make
Siddharth.
up your profile. Uh,
Yes,
Hi.
yes, Kamal.
Yeah, this is Kamal. I thought I will just speak to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
please,
Yeah.
please, please
Yeah,
go
Hello.
ahead.
yeah, because that will save a lot of time. Are there any particular sites and for choosing mentor, and how do we find out the genuinity of these mentors? I've never done that earlier, so that's a question. I'm very naive in
Yeah.
this.
Kamal, thank you so much for picking up this question because it's another sensitive topic where everybody right now is a business consultant and a happiness
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, true.
So So,
So
the
yeah,
thing
see,
is,
you do see the LinkedIn platforms, you know. Yes, please.
so
And I think this is one of the very major step in anyone's journey, because if you have chosen the right mentor, then at least uh, some part of your journey you have started and it will go on the right path. Otherwise, you will lose a lot along the way.
absolutely. The way I see it is, since I have to mention about and give credits to Business Charcha. So kindly go on and type businesscharcha.com and look in the menu and see for sectors. In Business Charcha, we cover more than 30 industrial sectors ranging from domain to domain, as many as you can count. And we have onboarded more than 300 plus experts on our platform right now. So those are the people who belong to all different domains and fields, and those are the guys which are verified by us. That's one way. Second thing is the domain in which you have to find a mentor, kindly find a proper company which is functioning in that domain. Now, for example, you have to find an mentor in electronics. And in electronics, the domain that you want to choose is semiconductors. So, what public entity is coming to your name when I say about electronics and semiconductors? In my this thing, it's Bharat
Bharat
Electronics.
Electronics. Hmm.
Well, so please try to go and search the profile of Bell and their team and try to write them mails. Try to connect with people who have worked in Bell in their previous years, who may have retired from Bell in their previous years, and those are the perfect people in order to guide you if they themselves cannot involve their time to the verified mentors. Because if at all I am not able to guide you in robotics right now, I would definitely be networked with the best robotic people who can guide you, and that is the support system that we are building. So I
That's a
think
very
that's the,
practical and great advice. Thank you so much, Siddhant.
Thank you,
it's
Kamal,
a
for
pleasure.
the question. In fact, that's a great question. Thanks. So we have another question from Durga. How have your properties changed from when you started first?
My property is nil still, and when I
So she meant priorities.
okay,
Priorities.
okay, okay,
Yeah, exactly. Your priorities, yeah, should be priorities.
yeah. So priorities keep on changing
In
from
fact, if in fact we
day.
can, if we can mold this question also. So everything should be, how you changed when you have started
Hmm.
first, because it's all about priorities, it's all about properties, elements, everything, your personality. So what is the journey behind that?
See, there is no change, but there is enhancement. So, initially, while we are children, we are being taught that the daily part of our schedule is watching TV, watching Tom and Jerry, having food, going out to play, sleep. And right now, the schedule that we follow as entrepreneurs is get up, do work, do work, do work, do work, do work, and then go to sleep. So it's the enhancement in the personality which has happened, and see, priorities and that work-life balance and personal professional thing. See, one principle I want to tell you, which will never let you change, never change for anything, because you yourself came first and anything else came after you.
Correct.
So never change yourself for anything. Just one principle. There is nothing called as time management. There are many people who disagree with me when I speak that on forums, but this is all college concepts and universities which have taught us about time management. Something which you have to follow is energy management. Just like a phone's battery, you have limited amount of energy, and that limited amount of energy has to be divided for your personal and professional priorities. The day you will be able to divide that wisely, you will never change, and you will be able to fulfill and perform to the best of whatever you prioritize in your life. So I have not changed at all.
I think your answer just given us a thought of different perspective, and that was amazing. because we never thought of that. Yeah, we always think of managing the time. We always think of, okay, we will do a to-do list, what to do, but how to do if you don't have the energy? How to do if you don't have the cumulative amount of boosting up and um, the priority setup with us. So yes, of course, your answer gives us so much valuable insight, and thank you so much. So with the answer, we are getting in the end of the session, and if anyone has any question or anything to ask Siddhant, is the last time I'm asking, and be free to unmute yourself and straightforward ask, or rather I will in 2 minutes I will end the meeting. Of course, we know the time is very precious to Siddhant and everyone here. So it's a 4 minute more that I promised Siddhant. So yes, of course. So if anyone has any question, he or she can unmute and ask. Beautiful. So I think we get the most out of the knowledge of Siddhant in 1 hour. Of course, we would love to connect once again with you, because this 1 hour, how it spans by, we don't know with the knowledge and with the answer that you have provided. And I think you can give us more insights and knowledge about many things. So we are looking forward to it. And of course, as you are in business church as a CIO, we would love to connect with business church also, in terms of being a part of that
Absolutely.
community, being a part of that ecosystem, because as you are doing a beautiful job, and we want to contribute ourselves to that ecosystem, to be a part of that change. So yes, looking forward to it.
So definitely, and co-creation is the way ahead. So being from a research background, I still believe collaborate and develop is the way ahead. And kudos to my startup yatra and the Early Birds Club team and the whole beautiful audience, because even I am astonished that you were able to bear me for 1 hour. So
Come
thank
on.
you so much for that. So it was a great session. It was a great hosting, and kudos to you and kudos to Priyadarshi and all the team members, because I have not been knowing names. So great organization. Thank you so
No,
much.
in fact, as you said, being a researcher, I'm also doing my master's in research in UK right now. So in energy and climate change. So yes, I know the mindset and how the things go. So thank you so much for your time. Firstly, thank you so much for your answers. Thank you so much for your session, and we will be looking forward to collaborate with you. And thanks, my startup Yatra
Absolutely.
team and Priyadarshi sir, for arranging this beautiful event. Uh, Till then, see you next week. And thank you, Siddhant, once again.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.